Ahoy! Welcome back to Adventure Sena. Today's episode's pretty exciting and off the beaten path. We're actually out in Leavenworth, Washington. For those who know Leavenworth, it's basically a little Bavarian town. It's a German-themed Bavarian village, so a lot of the architecture here reflects that. And I gotta say, it does feel like we've taken a step over to a European village here, just looking at everything, so it's beautiful. So we're gonna be doing a few things here. We're really here for Oktoberfest. So we're gonna take a look at whether Leavenworth is an actual taste of Germany or if it's really just a tourist trap. So we'll find that out. That's a question to answer. I love cities like this that has a little pedestrian access walkway. It's pretty cool. Absolutely beautiful buildings everywhere. So that's the line for München Haus. Some of the buildings here are just beautiful. Turns out many of these places in Leavenworth are actually dog friendly, even München Haus. So looking forward to having a bite with my dog. All right, so München Haus does use a bar ordering system. So while you're in line, they're gonna give you your menu. Lots of brat options.
Don't let the long lines deter you. München Haus is really a well-oiled machine. Your wait time is gonna be minimal. I made my way past the smoky grill and the beer bar into the beer garden and found a place to hang out.
Pretty generous selection here. Okay, so here I've got a nice little German traditional meal here. We've got German potato salad here. We've also got the dirty face bratwurst, which is a bratwurst you can only get here in Leavenworth. Give it a shot. There's a crispiness to the skin that just bursts with flavor whenever you bite into it. You can really get a hit of the beer inside the bratwurst here. As Anthony Bourdain might say, Oktoberfest is about celebration, and I'm not mad about what they're celebrating here. Good food, good beer, and the culture that they're trying to preserve. So overall, München Haus, is it worth a stop? Honestly, if you like bratwurst, this is as good as that gets. So I would say yes, if that's the case. Now, they don't really have a lot to offer outside of the bratwurst. They have some pretzels, a couple like beer cheese. Nothing that excited me, honestly. I will say, it did have a touristy vibe, but the food itself was fantastic. I suspect you can get similarly decent German vibes at almost any of these little tourist traps. It really does feel like I'm in Europe, honestly. This is definitely worth a visit. Authentic or not, it's its own thing. Beautiful little town in the mountains, I gotta say.
The next morning, I started my day off with a bang at Leavenworth Adventure Park's mountain coaster. The attraction opens at 11 a.m. I arrived at that time, and as you can see, the line was there, but not that bad.
Yet again, we find ourselves on another adventure coaster. Very excited for this. Whew. Bit nerve-wracking. All right, a little dip. Oh, this whole stretch is automatic, so you don't really have control. Wow, this is awesome. We're nearing the top now, so it's about to get energetic. Just riding the brakes. It's quite dangerous. Oh my God. Action coaster is a wild experience, I gotta say. All right, so Leavenworth Adventure Park. Is it worth it? Honestly, 20 bucks for a single ride. I think it's like 32 if you want to do a double ride. really worth it. It's really fun. It's not that scary. I gotta say the Riadoso one, quite a bit more jarring and I would say maybe scarier. It's also longer.
All that adrenaline had worked up a bit of a thirst, so we stopped at Icicle Brewing Company.
They have a lower bar here too.
Icicle Brewing offers a one-of-a-kind vibe with its multi-story bar and ski lifts hanging from the ceiling that you can actually use as a table to drink at.
It's a 3-story bar here. So cool.
Also, a good place to see all the poor souls who decided to stand in line instead of living their life.
This is pretty cool. You can actually sit inside of a ski lift. The ski lift kind of rocks a bit. It's kind of sketchy. So it's actually hanging from the ceiling for what I can gather, which is pretty trippy. We're actually in the ski lift here. So definitely interesting and unique. All right, here with the Fest beer. Very festive scene here. Leavenworth takes its beer seriously, and no place embodies that more than Icicle Brewing Company. This is a small local brewery that has become the centerpiece of the town's local beer culture. But I'll say there's a ton of local breweries, distilleries, wine cellars, tasting rooms. There's all kinds of producers here. Icicle Brewing happens to be dominating the beer scene at the moment, but lots of other great ones to try. What I'm having here is actually a collaboration beer. It's called the Fest beer, made specially for Oktoberfest only. This beer is a collab between this spot, the Dog House, and I want to say one other brewery. I can't remember the name of them. So as we explore the Oktoberfest grounds, the beer gardens, we're also going to keep our eye out for the local culture. So art, food, music. If that was a parade, it was over in 10 seconds. I must say, if you're going to come to Leavenworth and really make the most of this place, maybe Oktoberfest isn't the time to come. It's just too many people. I think I'm gonna pretty much give up on this until later on. See if I can get in the afternoon. Massive. That's the end of the line there. So it actually only goes for the 1 block. I'll come back in the afternoon and see if it's less insane.
Word on the street is, if you're looking for a more elevated German experience, you need look no further than Rhein Haus.
I gotta say, what a beautiful beer this is. Honestly, it looks like a cartoon beer. All right, so I've got a beautiful Rhein Haus special beer. This is their old school house, so it's actually a hazy IPA. I know it doesn't match the German vibe, but this is Rhein's local beer. Like, they make this beer here in-house, so gotta try the local stuff. Oh man, I think IPA haters would love this, honestly. It doesn't taste like an IPA at all. Just the lightest bit of the hoppy citrusiness kind of on the back end, but for the most part, it's just a delicious, drinkable beer. Really smashable. Bit dangerous. I just noticed it's at almost 7%. So yeah, very drinkable for a 7% beer. Beautiful. Here we have the Schweinshaxe, the Schweinshaxe. I don't know how it's pronounced, frankly. Schweinshaxe is how it's spelled. German word. So please correct me in the comments. I want to do this correctly. Just smells incredible. I gotta say, you got the red cabbage, you got some beautiful slaw, some mashed potatoes, and you've got a beautiful pork shank. So this is actually the shank of the pork leg. Look at that beautiful crispy meat there. Absolutely stunning. So I'm gonna tear into this beauty. All right, so Rhein Haus, fantastic, obviously. This is more of a sit-down style German restaurant, which I was looking for. München Haus didn't really scratch that itch. It's a great spot for some bratwurst, but outside of that, really not much else to offer. Overall, the vibes here, the aesthetic, everything about Rhein Haus I think is superior. They've also got this magnificent outdoor deck, which I'll show you here in a second. So you really want to come to Rhein Haus, I think, for a sit-down German meal. Now, there's other types of food here, so we're definitely going to check out some of that. But as far as a sit-down German meal, Rhein Haus is my pick for Leavenworth. So Leavenworth is known for its beer. I've also highlighted how cider's a big deal here. There's also actually vineyards nearby. So we're gonna take a whack at some local wine. We're going out to the Eagle Creek Vineyard and gonna go out to the actual vineyard and have a tasting. So let's check it out. Turns out the local German settlers didn't just bring their love for beer, they also brought their love for wine. Okay, so behind me you can see a unique treehouse vibe, and where we're at is one of the coolest vineyards I've ever been to. So Eagle Creek Winery is a tasting room as well as a vineyard. First up, I'm doing the wine tasting. First one is a cask-aged Moscato, which is a white wine. You might be looking at this and thinking that's a rosé, but the color comes from soaking in a Pinot barrel. Oh my gosh. Slightly carbonated, a little effervescent to it. A bit on the dry side, which I prefer. I don't really like a really sweet wine. Now the wine tasting, $15. However, if you buy a bottle, they'll waive that wine fee. I can tell you most of the bottles here range from around the $35 to $45 range. There's one that's $48. So yeah, instead of paying for the wine tasting, if you want, you can come, have the tasting, try all the wines, and then buy the bottle that you enjoy the most. It's so cool to have the vines right next to me. Actual grapevines here, growing on the trellis. Beautiful, the Chardonnay.
There you go, enjoy that.
Thank you for that. So the vintner here has mentioned that this was actually put in a stainless steel barrel as opposed to French oak, which is the tradition for Chardonnay. It smells very nice up front. Oh man, I love it. All right, so now we are shifting from the white wines over to the reds, and with that, they've brought us a little bit of a palate cleanser here. All right, so let's try the vintner's suggestion of popping in the chocolate with the Pinot. Oh, that's so fun. Okay, so being that this is my last wine, I think I'm gonna take a little walk through the vineyard at this point. I think we're going to just do a quick on-foot tour. Let's check it out. All right, so I love any vineyard that actually lets you wander through their grapes, and here they actually have seating in the vines. I love that. Eagle Creek Winery and Cottage tasting room. I mean, you don't get better than this. I'm in the vineyard, I'm in the orchard, in the plants, and just out here having a glass of wine. Oh my God.
This is where we pump the reds into.
Right.
Let them age for 2 years, year and a half, whatever we need to do.
Okay,
Yeah,
so these are all storage for a couple of years, all of these.
Right. And
Okay.
when Paul's ready, we want to pump them back into the tote, take them to the next building down there, and then we bottle.
Okay.
And then we're good to go, ready for sale. That
Smells amazing. So beautiful.
And that's this is Ed's old cellar.
You got Ed's cellar here,
Yeah,
so
Ed's cellar.
some vintage bottles.
Oh, yeah, totally. There's
Oh my
crazy
God.
stuff in there.
Yeah.
He won't let us dust, he won't let us do anything.
And I love that. I mean, I feel like I'm in an ancient library of some kind. Like,
Absolutely, good way to put it.
oh my goodness, so beautiful. That's so cool. Thank you for giving me this
Yeah,
little
no
peek back
problem.
here.
Of course.
Blending the art of old world winemaking with new world innovation. You can see little hints of that. The Chardonnay aged in stainless steel. Experimenting, trying something new. I love that about this place. All right, so now I'm back at the Festhalle, and it's about 2 p.m. now. I decided instead of sitting in line for 2 hours, I would just go and enjoy myself for 2.5, 3 hours. So that's the move. Screw trying to get here at opening. A pro tip, if you're waiting in the front line on the main street, you're a fool. There's another line on the opposite end of the Festhalle that you can go to that has no wait time. So why not? We're gonna walk around to the back end of the Festhalle, and apparently there's another way to get in there. Please do not climb on the beer wagon. It's a lot of effort to get into basically a tourist trap. I would come to Leavenworth and just enjoy the town outside of this, personally. So up to this point, we've tried a few of the different kind of German restaurants and bars, and some of them were really good. Some of them, I think, truly a tourist trap. So here we're getting off that tourist vibe and going into something that's a little more locally sourced. So most of the ingredients here are going to be local or within this region, within Washington State. All right, so the mixed berry scone's a special seasonal scone. It is delicious, I gotta say. Comes with some really nice sweet cream butter here, just a hit of salt in there. Okay, so here we have their shakshuka dish. So the shakshuka comes with a poached egg. Let's see how they did. Nice. Nice soft poach on the egg. Wow. Yeah, the Berber spice in there, really complex. You can definitely taste a hint of the coconut with the braised greens. The shakshuka, as it is a vegetarian dish. It does have an egg in it, and you can add sides if you want. So I've got the side of smoked 5-spice salmon. All right, so brunch at Bear pretty much wraps up my trip to Leavenworth. We came here with the purpose of trying to find out how authentic is Leavenworth to the German Bavarian culture. And I think what I've come away finding is you're going to find some authenticity. You're going to find mostly touristy, Americanized versions of German culture. I will say it's not Munich, but maybe it's just enough as Leavenworth. It's its own thing, and I think it deserves to shine in its own right. Definitely check out Leavenworth. It's a beautiful place, lots of amazing food, beautiful nature, wine, beer, cider, really all the things I love about this entire Pacific Northwest region.
Please like, share, subscribe, and hit that notify bell. It really helps out.